For week 4, we have the prompts that say that we create a new array called age in this case, and store inside the array the values that they give in. In this case, it should be integer because the value is number. We use a method to set the first element in the array from the last element in the array until the result in the console. In this case, binary. And repeat the step. In this case, we add a new value of the array at the end of the array and use a for loop to obtain that the new array, and repeat a method to subtract the first element in the array from the last element in the array. It should be 45 minus 3, in this case 42. Later, we use a for loop again to enter to the array to get the average. We obtain the average dividing the ages length by the sum of all elements in the array. For the next exercise, we use an array again, but in this time we store a string inside the array and call the array name with the values, the name that they give. We convert the values string and integer and sum all the values. We use a for loop and sums all the values in the array, and later we get the average. In this case, called average 1, dividing the name length by the sum of elements in the arrays, and print the result in the console. That in this case it should be done. Later, we have a method that concatenates name with a for loop again to interpret through the array, in this case, and concatenate with the space as we see when system offering. For question number 3, we can use the length proprietor of the array to get the number of the element of the array, and then subtract 1 to get the index of the last element. And for the first element, you can use the index notation with the number 1. For question number 5, we create a new array, in this case called number name length, and we store the values that we obtain interact through for loop at the name length. And for the next exercise, we interact through the name length array using a for loop and add the values and the result in the console as we see here. For the next exercise, we concatenate words with a method that takes a string as argument and integer n as argument 2, and print the result that the number of times that we put in an integer. An example, we use a string example and then as number of integer, or in this case n, and as we see here, we print 10 times a string. For the next exercise, we have a method that returns a first name, a string first name, and a string last name, concatenate with a space, and we have a system of print get full name concatenate with the two strings. As we see here, print correctly. Later, we have a Boolean statement that allows to know if sum is greater than 100 by taking an array as integer, summing all elements in the array, and if the sum of all elements in the array that we obtain using a for loop is greater than 100, the system of print true, but in this case it's false because the condition is not met. And exercise 10 is get average in the array. In this case, it should be double, use a for loop to enter to the array and divide the array length by the sum and print the result. For exercise number 11, we have another boolean is sum greater than segundo array. We take the two array and sum all elements and compare the two and give you a result that true or false in this case. For exercise 12, we have another boolean that if we will bring the we bring if two condition is met using an operator is on downside and money pockets greater than 10.5 it should be true because two condition is true. And the last one, I create this method that takes an array of, as in this case, as integer and a for loop to interact to the array and return the maximum value of the number. It's very helpful in this method because it's a common task as we see here. And that's all.